Hey, good morning, Bob from Trade Genius, the 26th of February. I'm going to put this up later in the evening, but I just want to show you something. People always talk about buying low and selling high, and you guys know my views on where I think the climate's going to go. And I'm going to show you another chart that'll kind of give a little bit of a good picture as to where prices could be heading in the future. And if you notice here, and I really want to bring this up, is that you know this day right here is the is when they announced La Nina has started. Okay, basically killed the move down, and this whole move here was because of the expectation of El Nino. And the interesting thing about it is you hear a lot from the global warming crowd that warmer temperatures are going to cause mass starvation, and the data doesn't bear them out. It's actually opposite. When you have the warm weather, regions that usually suffer from early frost or late spring planting get their crops in and get their crops out, and you saw it in spades with Russia and Ukraine. That's what drove our food prices to the floor because they just had record crops, and that was an anomaly. They don't usually have crops that good, and coming into this year, it's not going to be nearly so benign, and so you saw the bounce here. And but what I want to point out, and just think as a trader for a moment, literally every year you get these spikes, and if you look at here in 2016, you went from 29 to 36. That's 7 point move. 16% profit, and it's pretty religious. You get these moves every year. This year was an anomaly because I think it was coming off a big high, and just so you know, this is a La Nina high. This was a La Nina high, okay, and now we're going into some even crazier weather here with the Pacific and the Atlantic decadal oscillators and a La Nina. So I don't think you're going to see prices ever this low again. So you have a natural floor. Farmers are going to be forced to not plant because they can't make any money. So if you think about it for a second, the lowest you can go is back maybe to 26.50, and so 10% loss on the grains, and you have a potential opportunity for double here. And I just thought talk to you about that tactically, and that's why I've been buying JJG. We just been riding the little cycles here. Sometimes we make money, sometimes we don't. But one of these moves is going to be a trend move, and looks like most of the time it starts in the early spring. And so I'm just putting it out to you. I think this could be easy money for you this year. Now I wanted to show you something that should blow you away. Is this one right here? Hold on a second. Wrong one. There we go. This one right here. This is when the grand solar minimum started, and when you got these first big spikes, and then you went into the Maunder minimum, and all the way through here was the mini ice age, basically 1450 to 1850, and so you had a general rise in price. But if you took the best year, and I know I'm being a little dramatic here, but if you took the best year, you're down here at 250 price of wheat. This is in English pounds, and it finished up here at nearly a thousand British pounds. So you're talking um, a fourfold, fivefold move higher in prices, and now our prices have dropped even further. This went to 1996. I pulled my other chart out. So prices have basically cut in half from here, and we're not at peak yield, and we're at peak agricultural land, and we have a population that's still growing, and we had the most benign weather you could ever have to grow grains around the world. And so, there's some people out there talking that the price of food can go up 10 times. And I don't know about 10 times, but I can absolutely see 4 or 5 times the rise in prices. But it doesn't really matter. I mean, if food prices double, it'll bankrupt most of the people in the country. And I just want to point it out to you. And if you just looked at what happened in Spain and Europe when their winter crop vegetables, you couldn't get anything at any price. So, and the way the world now is starting to get a little bit more, protectionist. You look what's happening, and all of a sudden, food could be a weapon. And so, if some countries are in deep famine and other countries have stuff, and people are looking at this, they're like, whoa, don't export your food over to there. We may starve next. And I think that's what we're going to see. I think we're going to see a famine in one country. It'll be exported from a surplus country. That country will get hit. And then the next time around, people are going to be like, I don't think I want to do that. And then it starts. Then we're going to get back to what happened here before trade. Trade, I think, is the big stabilizer. Trade and the advancements in yields and chemical fertilizers. But those things have played out to the most part. I think there's huge resistance to biotechnology in the fields, and even if people that decide, well, we need this, it could take 5 or 10 years for them to get those crops and enough seeds generated to be able to put those out into the field. So I just thought I'd point it out to you. I thought it was pretty interesting, and the volatility really is of most interest to me as a trader. Is that, as you see, during the time when we had increasingly lower sunspot cycles, you had increasing volatility in prices, and we've had recently, last 10 years, more and more stability in prices, and it works with the stock market too. And I think the suppression through the amount of credit through the futures markets and the central banks and the strength of the dollar has caused some of that stability. But as that unwinds, and if we get some climate issues, you'll see food prices start gyrating wildly again. It's good news, bad news. Good news if you're a trader and you can catch those moves, you'll be able to pocket some money to be able to pay for the food. Bad news is if you don't and you can't, it's going to really cause some turmoil in the economy and in people's lives. So anyway, I thought I'd point that out to you. We'll watch. Next 3 months will be very interesting in the grain markets. If we don't get spikes by July or August, then I'd be pretty surprised. Have a great day and a great trading week this week. Bye-bye.